All right, my friends, we are going to learn about inclined planes or ramps and what happens if you put a mass on a ramp that is tilted to an angle theta. Let's begin by drawing the forces on this green mass. There would be the force due to gravity, which we will write as mg, that is also known as the weight. The surface of the ramp will push up on the mass with what's called the normal force, called normal force because it's perpendicular to the ramp. So those are the two forces that act on the mass if we neglect friction, which we're going to do for purposes of this little video. If the ramp is frictionless, the mass will slide down. The acceleration vector will be down the ramp. Now, acceleration is not a force, it's an effect caused by the two blue forces. So we're kind of leaving this vector off to the side so we don't get it confused with the forces that cause the motion. Well, so what people will typically do in analyzing the situation is they'll tilt their axes before using F equals ma. And the reason for doing this is that you will not need to do any trigonometry with A because it's along your x-axis, and you will not need to do any trigonometry with the normal force N because it's along your y-axis. But as you'll see, you will need to do some trigonometry with mg when you do this, use F equals ma along the x and y directions. It is possible actually to put axes however you want. In fact, you can untilt them like this. The downside of that is that you're going to have to do trigonometry with both n, the normal force, which does not point along the axes, and also you'd have to do trigonometry with a, because it also does not point along the axes. And people usually screw that up. They usually leave that part out. Well, so let's take a look at how you probably should do this, which is by tilting the axes. And again, you're going to have to do trigonometry with mg because mg, the weight, is not along your x or y directions. Well, so since we're going to have to do a little trigonometry with mg, let's figure out what some angles are here. Well, so if the ramp is tilted at an angle theta, then this force mg would be, between mg and the surface of the ramp would be 90 minus theta, as I'm blinking in and out of existence here. And then this angle between mg and this line kind of extension from the normal force would be theta right here. Well, so if that's the case, the component of mg that's along the y direction would be mg cosine theta. Why cosine? Because it's adjacent to this known angle. Likewise, the component of mg that's along the x-axis would be mg sine theta. Why is it sine? Because it's opposite to this known angle. Well, so now what we can do is run Newton's second law, F equals ma, along our x and y directions. So if we say sum of the x forces equals mass times acceleration along the x direction, it will look like this. The only x direction force is mg sine theta. In fact, this is why ramps are useful. When you lift something with a ramp, if you push something up a ramp, you don't really have to fight mg. You just have to fight mg sine theta to get it up the ramp. So mg sine theta is along the x direction, and we'll set that equal to ma. And it's the full a because all of a is along the x-axis. So we don't have to do any trigonometry with a. Well, you can see the masses cancel, and we learn that the acceleration on a frictionless ramp would be g sine of theta. Likewise, we can look at the y direction. Some of the forces in the y direction is may. Well, in the y direction, we have a normal force along the positive y direction, and we have mg cosine theta along the negative y direction. So those are our y direction forces, all of the normal force and a component of mg. And those conspire to make zero because the right-hand side of F equals ma, well, there's no acceleration along our y direction. That's what's actually kind of nice about tilting the axes. And so what we learn here is that the normal force will be mg times the cosine of theta in this case. Now let's look at what happens if we were not to tilt the axes. Again, in general, you probably shouldn't do this, but you can actually. You can actually put the axes in any orientation you want, so long as you kind of, use F equals ma correctly. Again, the problem here, the issue here for most people is that you're going to have to do trigonometry with both n And the part that people will leave out is you're going to have to do it with A too. But let's just see how this plays out. And again, you probably don't want to do it this way if you're handling this in your own little physics class. And again, why do you have to do trigonometry with A? It does not point along your untilted axes. So again, doing a little bit of the geometry here. If this angle's theta, the angle between mg and the surface of the ramp would be 90 minus theta. And the angle between n and, say, the vertical would be theta. So the component of n that is vertical would be n cosine theta. Why cosine? Because this component would be adjacent to the known angle. And if we want the component of n that's along our x-axis, that's going to be n sine theta. Why sine? Because that component is opposite to the known angle. Let's run f equals ma now along our untilted x direction. Well, along our new x direction, the only horizontal force here is the component of n that's horizontal, which is n sine theta. All right, so I've put that here. Now, the part that people will mess up is they'll often forget that they now need to do trigonometry with the a vector because the a vector does not point directly along our x-axis. So as you'll see here, it's a cosine theta. Now, what is a cosine theta? This component that I'm blinking it out of existence, this component of the a vector that's along our x-axis, that would be a cosine theta. Why cosine? Because it's adjacent to the known angle. Well, so what you can learn from this is a kind of a complicated little expression for what the normal force would be in terms of the acceleration of the thing down the ramp. Now let's look at what happens in the y direction. So if we'll use Newton's law along our vertical direction. What we're going to have to watch out for here is our acceleration actually has a negative y component here. We're going to have to do trigonometry again with the acceleration. And in fact, AY is going to be A sine theta. A sine theta is this little pink arrow that we're blinking in and out of existence. Why sine? Well, because it's the component that's kind of opposite to the known angle. It could be here where I'm wiggling my arrow. So that is negative A sine theta. Negative because it's in the negative y direction. As far as the left-hand side of f equals ma, well, we have n cosine theta in the positive y, and we have mg straight down. Notice we do not need to do trigonometry with mg right now because it's actually along our axis, our y-axis. So there we have it. It's more complicated now because we didn't tilt our axes. So what we could do here, I've got some algebra ahead of us. Let's say if we want to solve for the acceleration. What I did was I substituted this big expression for n in for n here. So I'm trying to eliminate n as a variable. So now everything's in terms of thetas, m's, and mg's. If you multiply both sides of this expression by sine theta and do a little bit of rearranging, you'll get this expression. ma cosine squared theta plus ma sine squared theta. Now what that would be is I multiply every term by sine theta and then bring this ma minus ma sine theta term back to the left. And then multiplying every term by sine theta would give us mg sine theta, which I'm going to bring over here to the right. If you remember from pre-calc or possibly algebra 2, cosine squared plus sine squared is 1. So you end up with just ma equals mg sine theta. And finally, after a good bit of work here, we get that a is g sine theta, which is the same answer we got before, but it was tougher now because we had to do so much more trig because our axes were not aligned with our a vector or with our n vector. So the cost we paid was all this kind of extra work. So in summary, what I would do if you're generally faced with a inclined plane or ramp, go ahead and align your axes so that one of them is aligned with the acceleration vector. That's a good idea in lots of first-year physics problems. If you know something's going to accelerate in a certain direction, just go ahead and put one of your axes right along that acceleration. And so these shown here again are general results for an inclined plane. Again, thank you all for watching the video, and I hope it was helpful, and I hope it gave you a little sense of why it might be smart to tilt your axes when you look at an inclined motion of a mass on an inclined plane.